Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show this evening is Robert and the one and only AK. Evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Ox. Evening, AK. Good to be on with the pair of you. Looking forward to the show.
Good evening, Rob. Good evening, Oxshire, the Techie team and everybody that's listening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Yeah, how you doing, AK?
Fine, pal. Fine. Another week done. Another week ticked off. Rest of the year to go now.
Don't waste your life away, mate.
I know. No belong to Davey's birthday.
Aye, we should put money by, get him an oil started for Davy's birthday. One of the years you're going to keep him, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
How you doing, Robert?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yourself?
All right, mate. All right. Aye, pleased with what's happening in the club. It seems to be, I'm not saying dramatic change, but we just seem to be getting things a bit more right. Now, whether the signings that are coming in the door are going to work out, only time will tell, Robert. What's your take on that happen? We'll take it for the last week at the club. What's your take on it? AK.
I'm quite calm about it, Ox. I'm quite calm. I've got a trust about the manager. I've got a trust about the ownership and the shake-up that we needed behind the scenes. That we're doing business quietly, the way it should be getting done. The papers and all that don't have a clue what's happening, and that's the way that we used to do it. So I don't have an issue. Just trust the guys that's in situ, and things will happen.
Are you intimating that you maybe think we were lucky? And when I say lucky, that it brought things to a head, there are so Martin things, but ultimately maybe in the big picture, more things might be fixed, if that makes sense, yeah?
Aye, well, I don't know about lucky. I mean, I think it was an error for Kavanagh and that
Aye.
to get Patrick
It could have
Stewart.
dragged on, mate. It could have dragged
Yeah,
on.
aye. Well, it was a matter of if or when, no if. The three of them were getting the ballot, but the sooner the better. But you just never know how it's going to materialise. I mean, we've had doubts in the past about certain people or certain players coming in, and that if they're not hitting the ground running, then supporters are up in arms. Why? And sometimes people need to settle in, but the decisions were imperative. They had to happen. But I think we've won a watch with getting a guy like Danny Rolkin, and even his, recruitment as a manager, he's relatively unproven as a young manager. But he's making big strides in the game for the young years that he's got, and certainly he's proven to be an astute acquisition.
Aye. I remember never put that point across too well, mate. But what I mean is, we came ahead really quickly with Russell Martin, and if he'd had maybe a mixed bag of results, not a disaster it was, mate, we might have stumbled on and carried on through, and and it come to a head, Robert. Small picture, it was terrible at the time. Big picture now, mate, the improvement's been pretty dramatic, if we're being honest, without still being a great side. But things are moving in the right direction. That's it. The point I'm trying to make, a bit of luck.
Yeah, obviously. If we could go back to the start of the season and right a few wrongs, I'm sure we would. But I think for me, it came to a head, and it kind of brought those issues that were within the club to the floor, and we've addressed them. Andrew Kavanagh has been quite public in holding his hands up and saying that they got it wrong. He's owned up to it, which is the first step. But since then, he's quietly went ahead to resolve it. Danny Rose came in. Performances are still far away from what we want to be, but he's got results, so he's improved that aspect. He's got rid of the director of football and CEO and Stuart Felwell. He's doing his business quietly, speaking to who he needs to speak to. And again, now we're in the transfer window, players are starting to be linked with us. There's deals being agreed, medicals taking place. There is a feel-good factor, not just like on the pitch with the results. There seems to be a calmness around the club now that things are happening behind the scenes that, as AK said, have been done privately. But you're not worried, you're not concerned. We're not shouting, where's our director of football, where's the CEO? We're just happy that the team is winning games and everything else seems to be getting taken care of. And over time, the next few weeks and months, we'll see where we go. But certainly from October to now, things have certainly improved in such a short space of time. And the right people are starting to become to the floor and be involved in the correct decisions to be made.
Aye. But when you bring in new signings, you might bring in a great player, AK. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work. There's no guarantees. That is, when it looks maybe not the right description, but there's a lot of things got to go your way. You have to stay fit. You have to settle. You fit in with your teammates, and that doesn't mean you have to be pals with them. Fit in with them and have a working relationship. And if you're a forward, you might have to. Somebody might have to make the chances for you. So there's a lot of factors, AK.
100%. Oxman, you're talking sense here. I know what you're digging at there, and it is hard to put into words. You wouldn't say it's luck, but attitude, application goes a long way with fitting into a club. I think that the best example I could give you, PSG spent hundreds of millions, if not a couple of billion, and particularly on their forward line to try and win the Champions League with Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. They didn't get near. I think they maybe got to a quarter or semi-final. They had to sell all the three to balance the books and went a wee bit younger, scored the markets across Europe. They've no got in big names, but they've got in efficient players in each individual position. They play as a team, they don't play as individuals. So that's your perfect example. PSG are a great team. They don't play as individuals. Our players were playing like individuals, and now Danny Rowell's got them playing like a team. But every signing is a gamble, 100%. But it's down to the player's attitude and application to acquit himself properly for the surroundings that he's in.
Aye. And obviously, you've got to keep fit as well. I mean, there's some famous ones. Your comment, Prodan never kicked a ball for his Kuznetsov, yeah. Who was a good player, top player, injured.
Rosenthal, I know.
Aye, Rosenthal, one or two games, so all that can come into play. But so, it looks as if we're bringing some bodies in, and obviously, you never know till you see them with a scarf, if that makes sense, Robert.
You never know, because things can go wrong at the last minute, as we know. As you said, you've just got to wait until the club announce it, and they've got the scarf above their head, and then that way, they're definitely in the door. Until then, it's still all rumours and speculation. Obviously, the latest is that medicals are taking place, have been done. It's now a matter of time, but you've still got to wait, because you just hope that nothing goes wrong. There's no wee blips in a medical or some fine line that something breaks down, or somebody comes in at the last minute with a better offer, because that can happen as well, Ox. You never know.
I'm not one for spreading rumours, as you both know, yeah.
Oh, of course, mate. Of course.
No, but I'm hearing that one of those objectives, because they don't want to do the Southside Super 6 every week.
Well,
I don't blame them.
Aye, that's a mutual agreement in that one.
So contracts are delicate things, AK.
Aye, they certainly are. Maybe that's how Kyogo didn't want to come up north either. He heard about the Super Set and said, "No, I'll just stay there where I'm at. I'm losing enough money here."
Right. We'll hear from Danny Rowell. We'll hear about what we've got to build up to for the weekend, because it's a massive gamble. Once we hear the interview, we'll turn our attention to that. But I just wanted your thoughts on a couple of things, yeah? Because things have really turned for us, haven't we? There's a feel-good factor that if I'd have said to you, Robert, that this feel-good factor would have been for the middle of January. You'd have said, get a white coat on, Ox, yeah? And I don't mean the white leather safari jacket. The one with the straps on it.
Aye, you would have, mate. You would have, because of where we were and what position we were in. Players were massively underperforming. I think even if you go back to after the Hearts game as well, a lot of people thought we had a chance and that was it. It was gone. But we've come back into it again. We're 4 wins from 4. We've got a chance of going 5 at the weekend, which will be the first time since February of this 2025 that we won 5 in a row. So there is a bit of momentum going. I think somebody said it on the show the other night. We're on the crest of the wave. We've just got to keep that up there. And we've obviously, things are happening, things are changing. It can only improve from here on in, but you're right in what you're saying. You would never have dreamt that we'd be sitting here second in the table, 3 points behind Hearts. Well, we were in October. We keep saying it, it's remarkable. And I don't think anybody's going to believe it until, well, we go and win a title.
Aye. AK, your thoughts quickly?
Oh, very much in the same page as Rob there. Listen, it's football's a funny old game. As Satan and Greavesy used to say, didn't he? But he's right. Just a running results can flip, and that's what's happened there. And you just keep putting the W's on the board, and who knows? But I think you touched on last week after we won. It's a different pressure that we're under now, and we're asking questions here at the squad again. Do you have the mentality to keep us going and then get in front? Because it is a different pressure. You're right there, Ox. But let's enjoy it while it's gone positive finish.
And they seem to enjoy it on Tuesday night, if I'm honest, yeah. The players seem to enjoy it, and obviously it wasn't the easiest game of football you'd ever play because you're 2-0 on a goal change games, but they ran out quite comfortable winners. But without being outstanding, I thought it was one of our better performances, but I think we'll get more to come, and that's pleasing me. So let's hear from the gaffer and we'll get an update on where we are with some of the players, etc. So get yourself a mute, gentlemen, and let's hear from Danny Rowe.
Give us any update on that?
Yes, I can. I think, we won the game on Tuesday, but we lost 2 players after this game by Duchamp. It looks not so bad. I think Duchamp could be available in 2 to 3 weeks. I think this is okay. We have the cup game, then we have the European League game, and then after that maybe he's back. Connor is a big loss. I think he will be out around 8 to 12 weeks. This is then, we speak about March, April at the minute. This is football. It's a little bit like, since I'm here, a never-ending story. Always when you have a team together and you try to growing and give them confidence, and you can make the same starting 11, then you have new injuries. But I think in the last couple of weeks we did well. We find always again a solution, and this is again for Sunday what we have to do.
With Connor in particular, how big of a part is that in his recent performances?
Yeah, I think it's not just the player Connor. I think also the relationship with Nico was very special. When you look on the pitch, that was really fluid. They helped each other on the pitch. Then in the last 2 games you saw as well Dio. These 3 midfielders very strong. They dictate the rhythm. They won a lot of balls, and this is what we of course miss. But it's time then for maybe other players to step in and take the responsibility.
There's also been a lot of talk about some potential incomings to the club. Would you expect anyone to be in before the game on Sunday?
Hopefully yes, but of course then it's a big decision. Maybe the new signings, they didn't train so much with the group. You have to make sure they are ready, give them also the right opportunity to show what they can do, and this is then a big decision for me in the next 24 hours when they arrived.
And just finally from me, the 2 positions that have been targeted or reportedly targeted have been left back and central midfield. If I can ask about the number 9 position, is that somewhere that you think you'll be strengthening this window?
Yeah, I think for me, it's not just about the 9. I think generally we have to increase our goals, and I think this is then important what we can find on the market. We are looking on some other positions as well, but let's do the first job with the first 2 players, and then let's see what we can do next. But I can give you the guarantee that we work also on different positions.
Tonight it looks like all new arrivals are coming in, 2 Romans and Giovanni. Can you give us your rundown of what you think both these players are going to give the team?
Yeah, at first I can not confirm yet, because you never know what happens in the next 24 hours. We are in a good way. We are much positive. I think generally we look for also a physical side to bring players in that can give us a physical impact. This is one part. I think Jaden did really well in the last couple of weeks, but if you have an injury there, then it's good to have also the competition on this position. But it means for me as well, this is the next step for Jaden. Take the challenge if you bring a new fullback in. And then I think there's no secret about the 6th position, that we have to strengthen this area. In the last couple of games, especially when we played with 3 midfielders, and if you have an injury, then like in the game now on Tuesday, I put then Tev on the 6th position. I think this is very important to have the minimum one more player. Now with Connor, I think it changed a little bit also our situation as well. We observed the market, what we can do, but what I want to have different profiles. I think you need on the one side ball winner, you need physical, but you need also players that can dictate and the rhythm. And we need a good fit for the players around, because this is crucial. We have a fantastic group at the moment together. They're growing, they're in a good way, and now we have also to find the right characters to help the group. They challenge the players from here, but also to understand as a group they are growing and have success together.
So with Connor's injury, that might change your plans this one, if you might bring another midfielder perhaps?
I think we observed still the market. We said this before, but now when you lose 1 midfielder, then you have to think about what could be anything else on this and on top. And this is now what we are looking for. We have still with Joe, but Joe is at the moment not in the rhythm. He is back on the training pitch. This is a good part. When you look to the midfield, then we have some good 10s. They're growing with Telo, for example, at the moment. But we need in our heart also the players that can dictate and help us.
It was reported that up to 6 players may be allowed to leave. Can you confirm that is the case, and have you had those conversations with any players that may leave?
I had some conversations with some players, and I think also some players feel at the moment it's not easy to come in the squad or be part regular, and then we have to make clear decisions with them together. This is always important. But one thing is also on one side, there are some players they want to play, some players they want to play, but they love to be part of our way at the moment. But we have to make sure that we have a good squad and a good numbers of squad that we can help each other. Otherwise, you have more problems in the building, and this is also crucial for us.
After the Aberdeen victory midweek, Danny, you said that you thought the form of the team had surprised some people. Has it surprised you, just given what you inherited in October and just how well the players have responded to what you've asked them to do?
I think surprised. I'm not surprised, but more I'm happy how we improved as a group. I think we are still not at the end where we want to go. I think this is also important to understand. We have to improve more parts of the game and consistently over minutes. But we surprised with a lot of good results at the moment, and we surprised that we are now in a position where we are not in the no man's land. We are really involved in a race, and I think this is fantastic. And from this point we have to continue. This is crucial because 4 wins is good in a row, but 5 wins in a row it's much better. And I think this is what we have to do against the opponent. They will be a different opponent to Tuesday. because the environment, the stadium, the atmosphere will be different to Tuesday. They will challenge us. I think we give them also opportunities on Tuesday in counter-attacks. We have to be very sure that we give them not so many opportunities again, because they have also some players they can hurt us. And if we play on our highest level again, then we have a big chance to take the next 3 points.
Well, thanks for that, Fox. Mixed news. Obviously, no confirmed the signings. It looks as if they're imminent, but as he said himself, Danny, Robert, you never know. But mixed news on Connor and Dujon. Obviously, Connor 8 to 12, and Dujon could be back after the cup game, yeah, but it looks it, yeah.
It's obviously a bit of good news and a bit of bad news coming from that press conference, mate. It's about a big shame about Connor Barron, because there's no argument he's been one of our best outfield players of this season. He's started to be a real kind of key figure in the midfield in particular. And he started to obviously take set pieces, be involved a wee bit more in the kind of front line as well. So disappointed for him. Of course, it's a lengthy layoff. Hopefully he comes back fit and ready when the time is correct as well for him. We don't rush him back. And Dujon, I think it's 2 to 3 weeks. It's not too bad. I think he said it's a muscle injury. So I'll be honest, I'm not really surprised that he's picked up a slight knock after a lengthy layoff and played a lot of minutes as well. I know they've tried to manage his game time, but after a lengthy layoff, if he got through it unscathed, you'd be a wee bit surprised. So as long as it's only 2 to 3 weeks and nothing more serious for the boy as well, because he's another figure that we need at this point in time. His versatility and power and strength's key, I think, especially in the back line.
EK?
Aye, pretty much the same again, Rob. It's one of them. He's going to keep his cards close to his chest regarding our recruitment. He can't announce it himself. He's got to wait in the I's to be dotted and the T's to be crossed and things like that. But he's hopeful. He getting players in, the sooner the better. Whether they're going to be available for Sunday, probably not. But it's things are moving. Barron is a blow for him and for the team. I just think that the wee man's energy and his attitude and everything, I think there's players within that team, namely Nico Raskin, that has really rubbed off on. He sees how much effort and how much work he's putting into that midfield, and he probably realises, I'm not doing enough for the team here. I need to give this wee guy a horn. And he's up to his levels. I thought the two of them were excellent against Aberdeen there during the week. But the other players coming into the team as well. Sterling looked like a new signing coming in there to bolster our defence in the absence of Suter and Giga going away to the AFCON and stuff. So it's up to others now to step up. There's going to be opportunities there for players, and who would have thought that Chermiti and Moore and all that could have been heroes for the start of the season. So you've got to utilise your squad as best as you can, but adding quality in key positions is going to be vital for the second half of the season. Rob, what are you taking out of that?
Aye, one of the things I took EK was the fact that he mentioned that we needed players with physicality, and I believe one of the 6 foot and 6 foot 2 the guys were bringing in. So he's looked at that, and obviously it doesn't matter. You can be 7 foot 2 if you can't play. You're not a lot of good, but we've all said that our team has lacked physicality at times, and you've seen the difference when we've had guys in the box who have got a presence about them. Doesn't make them brilliant football players, but if you can get the mix right, it gives you a starter for 10 here.
100%, and you've seen the impact that Fernandes has made on the team with his goal return. Rob and I were discussing it the other day that he could become our best ever scorer for a centre half in goals. You know, it's no mean feat. You're usually looking for a centre half to be scoring, 48 goals a season. if the big man continues the way he's going, he could be hitting double figures, and I don't think that's ever been done in our entire history. So if you've got goals coming for defence and elsewhere in the team, you're not looking at your centre forwards as much, but you still need your centre forwards to be a threat to the opposition, as well as keeping their own confidence for the team.
I just something I picked up on, Robert.
It's something that we've said for a number of seasons, mate. The height and the physicality side of it, the height and the strength of players, particularly in midfield. We're all quite slender in midfield. I know Diamondi's got a bit of height, but he's not a kind of aerial threat. So the two guys we're bringing in certainly do seem to fit the bill of physical side. Strong, powerful, particularly the boy Chukwueze, is it we're going to pronounce way? We're going with Chukwueze.
I'll take your word for it, mate. It's a difficult one. Yeah, I read today. There's not been such a clamour for people to name names since a certain manager left a place across the city.
Aye. Well, I believe his middle name's Phil, so if we go with that, maybe a lot easier for us. Rolls off the tongue a bit better. But no, he's certainly a guy that is going to bring physicality in the middle of that park. He's a number 6. And I don't mean this disrespectfully to Conor Barron at all, but hopefully if this guy comes in and he can reach the standards that's expected of him, we don't miss Conor Barron as much during this period of time. But certainly it's a disappointment to hear that he's picked up a bad knock, which I think if you watch it back, it was a pretty bad foul that went unnoticed by the referee, so we say.
Aye, Rob, I would say Chukwueze would be the.
You know me, Chuck Wagon. Big Stevie says Chuck Wagon.
Chukwueze. Make it simple. But it's down to interpretation how you say it, isn't it? Pronunciation. But Barron is a block, isn't it?
Aye, look, I feel a bit for him as a individual because he has played, he has been consistent. He's no shone in every game. But even when he's not a good game, Conor Barron, you can't fault his attitude and his endeavour. Yeah. Whereas we've got other players who have decent games and they still don't put in the endeavour and the attitude he's got. And when they're bad games, you don't even know they're on the pitch, Robert.
Aye, that's the thing, mate. You know what Conor Barron's game is. He will always give you that effort and endeavour. I mean, players aren't they doing that kind of minimum, then you notice that they're not contributing. It's like playing with 10 men, but it's just it's just a shame for the boy because he has come onto a game. He's certainly been, as I said earlier, the most informed probably outfield player we've had. He's got a World Cup coming up as well, which he'll have aspirations of hopefully getting on the plane there himself. So it's a setback, but I'm sure he'll be raring to go when he does come back fit and ready. But as I said, as long as we get him back right, we don't rush him back, we don't put him in too early. And again, if we've got players coming into that position, then it's probably something that Danny Rule was obviously addressing. But you heard him say there, the plans might change because of this injury. So it'll be interesting to see what the next steps are by the club to go and see if there is another option to come in the middle of the park, or if there's somebody within the club that comes to the floor.
Who are you thinking, mate? Who are you thinking?
The issue is that there's nobody that really does that effort and determination and endeavour that Barron gives you in the squad. I don't think. Lyle Cameron to an extent, but he's not been in the picture. I don't think he comes in out the cold. Asgard certainly can't do it, and he's already mentioned that Rothwell's not in the rhythm. I don't think Rothwell's in the picture. Never mind the rhythm, mate. So I think we will go and see what's suited on the market. I don't think there's a player within the squad currently that would give us the same dynamics as Conor Barron.
Aye. Listen, I just wish him all the best and he's getting fit, mate. It's part of the game. It's not came at a good time for him because he's been in the team and playing well obviously he's trying to get to the World Cup as well. Hopefully with a couple of medals for your club as well to boost his reputation. Look, one door shuts, another man's opens. It could be the new signing comes in and grabs the jersey, okay?
Aye, let's hope so. I mean, I seen a clip of the boy, and he's got a good foundation to build his Rangers career on. He gets sent off for a nasty tackle on Callum McGregor against him. so that's a good start to his Rangers career when the Rangers support hears that. But no, listen, if that boy comes in and he shows a better quality and gives the same endeavour and work rate and everything that Connor Barman, who would have thought we would be saying this, Ox? I mean, this time last year, Connor Barman was probably a bit part player and wasn't really getting a game and was he a right signing? And all of a sudden he's grabbed his opportunity, he's grabbed that jersey. And by the way, he's won a lot of plaudits off the Rangers support because we can see the effort that he puts in. And then Danny Rowe come out and he'll say, by the way, that boy run 15k there at the weekend. You're like, wow. So listen, you need the workers in the team to let the so-called better players express themselves, you know. Every good team needs it. But to say it's a squad game, so it's up to others now to step up. Rob's saying Lyle Cameron. I think a lot of the support would say, I give the boy a chance. But he's not really featured for whatever reason. Could be Asgard, it could be Asgard. That'll not get down well with the support either. You know what I mean?
Guys, I talk to you, I don't see my Caroliners, mate. They don't see Lyle Cameron as the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aye, he plays a different role, a different position in the team. He certainly is not as disciplined as Connor Barn. He's more a kind of defensive. Aye, of course he will. Aye, but somebody needs to fill that role. It's unfortunate now. Sterling, he could have been the one to step into the midfield to carry that, but it's a double blow for the team, no doubt.
Aye. Just hopefully he gets himself back, as you say, Robert, fitting well, you know. And obviously Sterling, maybe I think you hit it nail on the head, mate. It's just part of his comeback, but obviously because he's history, you always fear the worst, eh?
Aye, because you could just think that 2 to 3 weeks could turn into 5 to 6 weeks with Dujon Sterling. It's not the first time he's had an injury issue, and it's particularly muscle injuries. I know that's a lot of people focus on that. When your muscles keep injuring, that's a different ball game, because trying to recover from that and keep going consistently with the amount of games we play and the amount of times we come against physical sides, laying the boot in and things, you're going to get kicks and knocks. As I said, I think it's just down to a long comeback, playing some minutes. They've done well to manage his game time. I think they've done it the right way. They've not flung him in too early. They've substituted him at times, had him on the bench, come off as a substitute. I think it's just part and parcel that you wouldn't have been surprised if he got a niggle. You'd be more surprised if he didn't, if he came through between now and the end of the season a clean slate.
Aye, because he's history, care.
Aye. I was actually going to ask you the question here. It'd be interesting to know about his Rangers career. How many games in a row does he actually? What's the most games in a row that he's actually played for us before he actually broke down?
I was just going to say that Connor Barnes, you know, we talk about turning up for your work. He started 53 games for us since he joined the club, and 22 as a substitute. So if you look at him, and we've talked about other guys, and we'll look at Dujon, and we've talked about Matondo and guys like that. At least you're getting bang for your buck with Connor, if that makes sense, AK.
Oh, 100%. But we've been down there before with Hollander and Roof and Ryan Jack. Do they guys need a certain way to train, and they need certain rest days and all that, you know? Or is it just there's an underlying thing there with his muscles, or else there's something wrong with him? Because he's not that old now, Ox, is he? What is he, mid-20s? And he's never really had a consistent run of games in the team, because there's no doubt his quality is there, but he's no good to us on the treatment table.
Aye. Well, Drew John's been with us an extra season, and he's only started 38 league games, mate. Yeah, you know, and whether he's done 5 in a row, mate, it's up for debate. This will be one of his best runs. Yeah.
Aye.
He never played against St Mirren. He never played against St Mirren.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's not even managed 5 there, mate.
Yeah.
You know, but I'll have a quick look at that and see if I can come up with 5. But I would be surprised, mate. He's played 5.
Aye, it's disappointing for him. It's disappointing for us. But it's the same old adage. You need to turn up for your work, Ox, and that's the sign of a good team when you've got consistency in selection. You've got everybody desperate to play and play their part.
Just going to say, remember that adage, mate.
That's below the belt, you. I've not been up this year.
Pot kettle black, yeah. Oh dear. You must be due one then, eh?
Give me a month.
Aye. But Dujon, it's frustrating. I've always liked him, mate. But I take Albert's point, Robert. You know, about the amount of times we use this phrase, "Do you turn up for your work?" I get it because I think he brings something. His physique, he doesn't get messed about, and he's been an asset in a few positions. I don't think he's a centre half though.
No, I don't think he's a centre half. I think his best position, mate, is a centre defensive midfielder or a right back. He'll do a job there. I just think he's got attributes of a defensive midfielder that his strength, his power, his pace is something that probably we need as a club, that he can contribute well, and then it allows the kind of more forward-thinking players to be more expressive, knowing that he's there just as that kind of shield before the back 4 or back whatever you're playing that day. But if it's a 4, then he's there just as a kind of blanket, and again, it can allow midfielders to be more expressive. Unfortunately, I've not seen him play a lot of games in any one position to have a real clear assessment, but on what we have seen, I would say he's a defensive midfielder.
AK, you got a thought on it?
I think he's a 100% a defensive midfielder. I don't see him as a right back. I think he can offer the defensive attributes, but I don't think he's a natural right back, and he certainly can't deliver a ball the way Tavernier can. I think Barisic and Tavernier, for the years that we had them, we were spoilt, or certainly the strikers were spoilt, whipping the balls in. We don't have that quality. We've went another way, just to make us more solid and hard to break. But listen, the stats prove it. I think Rob put some stats up there in the last 10 games. Butland's had 8 clean sheets. So we're beginning to shut the door. We needed to do that. We were losing too many silly goals. The midfield was beginning to function, and the strikers were beginning to function, and certainly we were scoring goals for set pieces. So the work that they've done on the training field and the coaches that they've brought in has certainly improved us. With the finished article, nowhere near can we improve 100%, but it's a work in progress, but the way we're going is very much been beneficial to our chances for the rest of the season.
But mate, if we have 8 clean sheets in the next 10 games, mate, yeah, we'll be in a decent place, mate. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, obviously you have to keep it going, Robert, but it is important because then you can win games. Obviously, stating the obvious, 1-0, but if you keep losing silly goals, it can get harder. You know, and we were at the start of the season giving away far too many chances, mate.
Aye, we won the half, mate. We were giving up umpteen chances almost as much as you would in 3 or 4 games of football, particularly under Russell Martin, of course. But it's something that's improved over time with Danny Rule. There's been less shots at goal. There's been less mistakes as well. I'm not saying there's none, but there is a lot less than what there was as well. And we're starting to get clean sheets on the board. The stat that AK's touched on there is Jack Buckland's had 8 clean sheets this season. He had 10 last season. And Liam Kelly had 4. So he's already 2 away from what he was last season. So certainly in there is improvements defensively. There will be errors, there will be mistakes, but if you have won a game, you need to make sure you're scoring at the other end as well to go and win the games. But as you say, mate, clean sheets, they can obviously help you win games as well, gives you a platform for your attackers to go and play.
Yeah. So do we agree that the back four will be Aberdeen, the same back four that started against Aberdeen, AK?
Tavernier, Suter, Fernandez and Magoma. Yeah, I think that'll be
I don't think. I think if the new signings are eligible, they could be on the bench, but I don't think they'll start. I don't think that's fair. If I'm honest.
I agree.
Yeah. Robert, your thoughts?
Aye, same back four, mate. No changes.
Right. So then we're moving into where Connor comes out the team. I think what you'll have is you'll end up with Diamand and Ben Raskin because they have played together. And all right, Diamand in the last game and a half has been decent. Better than, well, I'll put it this way: he was better in that game and a half than he had been the vast majority of seasons, in my opinion. AK.
No complaints for Diamondi, but sometimes players need that. They need the message, the jolt up the backside, the kick up the backside that your position is no safe in this team and the level of performance you're giving us. You don't deserve a start. There's others you're desperate for a start. So good. If he's got the message, good, because that's the level of performance we want off of Diamondi and we need off him for the benefit of the team. And there's no doubt about it. Him coming on in the second half definitely had a turn and change in the course of events what was happening at Parkhead last week. But we want more.
Aye, he's set his own standards, Robert.
Aye, you're right, mate. He did do a lot more in the game and a half than all season so far. I think Danny Rowe touched on it. There's chemistry between the midfielders. I touched on it as well, that as much as we can criticise and critique the midfield, you can't argue that the strongest midfield is Barron, Raskin and Diamondi. So if Barron's out of that, again, it's just Diamondi and Raskin that has got the chemistry. They've got the link-up play. For me, that's your obvious 2 choices. I don't see anybody else coming in. And if the boy Chuck Ioane signs, I think he'll be on the bench. I don't think he'll come in at the start. But if it was early in the week, I'd say I probably could start. But this late on towards a game, I wouldn't imagine so. But Diamondi's got to keep up the impressive performances that he's done the past 2 games, a game and a half at least.
So who's third midfielder then, Robert?
Well, this is the thing. It can only be Asgard, in my opinion. I don't see Lyle Cameron coming out from the cold as much as many supporters out there want him to come in. I don't see it myself. I think that you're only left with Asgard because you've seen it on Tuesday night that when he took off Barron, there was nobody else available. He had to bring on Danilo and put him in behind Miovski. So it's almost like the obvious choice is Asgard.
So, but the only choice in that position, really, if we're honest, we've been left really short, AK, yeah?
Unfortunately, the injury to young Rice earlier in the season means that he can't step in now. So I think if you put a poll up, I think you'd have 90% of the support saying give Lyle Cameron a chance. But I think the manager will go with Asgard.
Do you think Lyle Cameron's the answer, AK?
I think he'll offer a bit of energy, which Barron did. He'll not play the same role as what Barron did in the team because that's not his game. You can't just magic that into somebody. You've got to have the natural defensive, you've got to size up what's happening round about you. I don't think he sees the game that way, whereas I think young Barron did, and I think Nico Raskin's got that in his game where he'll shut down lines and you'll be aware of what's happening round about him. I think Lyle Cameron's one of the guys that wants the impact going up forward, but he'll still have plenty of dig and endeavour and chase people down in that. So if it was down to me, I'd be putting Lyle Cameron in our team, but I just think that the gaffer will go with Asgard. But he needs to up his game in Ox, and he's got a lot of making up to do to the support as well as his manager.
I'm no Asgard's biggest fan, as you know. I think I've made my views on him.
He's a new Scott Wright.
No, but I just don't see that Lyle's going to be. I think I think he's got a great attitude. I don't see it. I mean, I hope if he gets his chance, I hope he proves me wrong, Robert. But I don't know if he's a big enough piece of the jigsaw to go in, mate.
I think if you're looking for somebody to come in and replace the effort and rate that Barron does, he gives you the effort as well. He does chase a lot, but he's not the same player. You're not going to get him being the guy that's the ball winner. As AK touched on, he's more of a forward-thinking midfielder that likes to break into the box. And I think that's where recruitment again is left is short, that we don't have a like-for-like option should a player break down or get injured, which is clearly the case that's happened. So I don't think he's the answer now for Barron's replacement. Whether he can make a career at Rangers remains to be seen. He clearly isn't favoured by Danny Rule for some reason. Whether we see him going out on loan in this window remains to be seen as well. But how much of the Barron injury could that affect as well? Does that play into it? Or do you still expect him to go out on loan for game time?
I don't see him being a replacement for Barron. I would see that AK is right, that he'd be up against Asgard for a jersey. And, well, you never know. Stranger things have happened. AK?
Aye, well, it's just the gaffer's got to make a decision. He thrown a jersey to somebody. Just thinking there, Ox. I don't see it myself, but Kieran Dowell appeared on the bench here. He could have been an option to bring on Aberdeen, and the fact that he turned to Danilo before him, I think tells you a lot. He was just filling the bench here too. But it's aye. I don't know if we do manage to sign that guy Chukwueze, whatever his name is. I think he might throw him in there rather than letting Asgard, because he knows that Asgard will know the job that Barron brings. If there is one of the two
He's
new
not
signings,
he's not wanting to do the job that Barron does.
I know.
He's replacing Barron with Diamande. And Diamande and Raskin have started a lot together in the same role. It's when, look, and then you've got the problem. Is it Asgard? Is it Barron? Sorry, is it Cameron? Yeah, to play that more offensive role.
Aye, I get you. I hear you. Whatever he decides, we'll just need to go with it. He's proved a lot of people wrong already this season, so trust whatever decision he makes.
It doesn't get too high or too low. I keep saying that about Danny Rowley. You know, he's pretty pragmatic. He sees that injury's part of the game, yeah?
Yep, he rolls with the punches.
Yeah, I know what that's like. Yeah, but we'll see. So we'll see what happens with that one position in midfield. I think we all agree that it'll be Diamande and Raskin and another. Right, I never thought I was going to see this. It's picture beauty. I never thought I'd see this, Robert. It's picture beauty. The starter, one of the first names to the team sheet, a cult hero, fans' favourite. Is he on any things now?
He's the chairmanator, and he starts up front on Sunday.
Aye.
You've got to. He's on form. He's the striker that's on form, Ox. You've got to play him.
Yeah. He looked a bit tired the second half on Tuesday.
He did. They put a lot of effort in on Saturday, and then again, quick turnaround Tuesday night. Probably could have come off maybe 5 or 10 minutes beforehand. Even at half time, I felt like maybe could have took him off, but they did look leggy. The whole front line did, but they've had a couple of days recovery, and hopefully they're all recovered well.
Aye. Listen, if you're out there, we're slowly building towards the Well, come and join us, use your points in the team. It's a big game on Sunday. Big game. Right, so we'll go to mateys for number 9. Are you in agreement, AK?
Yes, Cristiano Germiti. Yep.
Right. And again, we ain't got a lot of options. And I think I took for the interview that Mikey Muir's just got the knock that he had on Tuesday night when they said they protected his load. Yeah, that means that's a different term now, isn't it? So, so
The family show.
aye.
Before 9 o'clock, come on.
I'm assuming that Mikey's going to be fit. Assuming, I might be wrong, but I'm assuming that, and it might be Gasserman again. Yeah, it might go with the same 3 again. Robert.
I'd expect the same 3. Nobody asked him about Moore, but he never mentioned it either. He said obviously we came away with a win on Tuesday night, but we got 2 injuries. And he did say after the game on Tuesday that Moore felt something. So I think if he was a doubt or out, he would have said it at that point. So I'm taking it that he's fit and he'll go with the same front 3 line. And he also alluded that Antman could be back in the squad as well. I know he'll not start, but man his minutes, another player in the wide area that comes back. So I'd be expecting the same front 3.
Aye. If I'm honest, I don't really miss that man. I think his form was pretty poor, but you never know. He could have been carrying a knock, yeah, and it just came ahead.
I think so. I think the amount of games that he's played so early in his career there, just was the Finnish national team. I think he got a player of the season for them, so he's an important player for them. I think they're still involved in World Cup playoffs as well. I'm not sure, but listen, I don't think he's hit the ground running. I think his very first game, he looked as if, oh, we've got a player here, but I don't know whether it was just relationships and just the whole feeling round about the club and all that wasn't good, and that didn't allow him to, perform the way that he wanted to perform. But he's certainly stats coming for his previous club at Go Ahead Eagles. He contributes with assists and goals, and if he's bringing that to the table with the second half of the season, who knows? He might have a lot to play for now on in. Let's hope so.
Aye, you never know, mate. You never know. That's the point, mate. And it can be a chance or a goal, an amazing run. It sparks something, and all of a sudden, confidence comes back to somebody. You just never know, Robert.
No, you never know, and you never know. You come back from an injury as well. Sometimes you've got a point to prove because you've been out for so long that you want to do well for yourself personally, but you want to get back in amongst the team, especially when we're winning games. There's that feel-good fact that we spoke about, so he'll be keen to get back in amongst it and back out in the pitch. It's interesting that AK mentioned that he got the Finnish Player of the Year. Predominantly, he plays as a left wing-back for them. And we know that Danny Rule has said before, if he's playing wing-backs, he likes one full-back and one winger. So, again, there's a lot of options that Danny Rule's got to his disposal with the personnel he's got. The jury's still out in a lot of them, but you start to kind of realise he's not just a one-trick pony. He said that himself. He doesn't like just one plan A. He's got a few options. There's players coming in that are powerful, physical. We've got players in the squad that can play different positions. So, interesting times ahead to see how he actually puts this all together once we've got the players in this window, and how the players that are there after the window fit into the system as well. Because I don't think we'll see one system every single week. There'll be a lot of chop and change, which is good for us because we keep guessing, keeps opponents keep guessing, but it keeps players on their toes as well. So you just never know how it's going to unfold for individuals, never mind the team.
Aye. I'm just refreshing to see if we'll sign these players. But hopefully it's a winner. And obviously we're linked with another couple of players for Sunderland, Dickie. I don't know if you picked that up.
Their names escape me. One of the guys posted in their group earlier, but Sunderland, I think they played key roles in winning promotion for last year, but they've obviously had to go recruitment to try and survive and do well in the Premier League in England, and to be fair to them, they've recruited well, but these two guys who were prominent in their team, can't mind their names, Rob. You could maybe dig it out. But listen, if they want games and they're a certain quality that's going to improve our team, then why not? Why not? If it's just loans and that suits both clubs, or I don't know if we're looking for permanent deals or that for them, or a loan with an option to buy. But if they have a certain quality that's going to improve our team, then I am all for that. But you have touched on it all week, Ox. There's some dead wood there that we need to try and get off the books if we can.
Hard, mate. That's the hardest thing, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
It's incredible to the numbers you're talking about, Ox. For what we're paying for them for the games, the return of the games. Shocking.
I would never ever, but if you maybe one day I'll record no bear when we're talking that fair, mate. If it would allow me.
I could. The bleep button would explode.
You know, it is frustrating, you know. Look, I don't think people mind, you know, they feel sorry for somebody who gets a badge, you know. Danilo got a lot of sympathy with his Rob, didn't he? You know, he get his jaw smashed and then he get his knee done, and the two of them were nasty and tackles and moments for the guy. So he did get a lot of extra credit in the bank to turn it around because everybody felt you were unlucky. But eventually that runs out, doesn't it? If you're not on the team, and then people think that we want better because you're not about anything. And it's nothing against them as individuals of people. It's just that we want our team to do well.
Aye, of course we do, mate. And you're right in what you say. You probably get a bit of leeway. I'll put it as you get a bit of leeway because of his injuries. But if you think about it, he was a £6 million signing. Chermiti's an £8 million signing, and there's a lot more emphasis and scrutiny on Chermiti when Danilo hasn't really hit the heights either. So I think it's time we cash in Danilo if somebody comes in. I know, as you say, it's the hardest part of the game is getting people out the door, especially when they're not playing as many minutes, they're not playing well.
2.5 years he's got left, mate.
Exactly. That's a big contract to pay out as well. You're maybe looking at a loan this window and maybe even a loan again in the summer or a year loan from now to try and maybe get them out somehow. You're still paying a percentage of their wages as well. I don't see him getting a permanent this window. I'll be surprised. But what I'm saying is he came as a £6 million signing, but there wasn't this pressure on him as much as there is in Chermiti. And there's £2 million difference. Aye, it's a lot in £2 million, £2 million. But at the same time, he got a lot of leeway because of his injuries. He's not hit the heights, mate. He's not hit the heights at all.
I don't dislike him, but I just don't know. I don't know if he's a lone number 9, AK.
No, he definitely he needs a partner, but when it's the manager, I mean, is there any teams out there off the top of your head that plays with a two up front? Because it seems to have been worked out again. You know that you go back decades and it was all 4-4-2 that a lot of clubs played right across Europe. But I mean, there's even arguably good teams play without a striker totally, and they just use their midfielders, attacking midfielders, to get the goals for them. If it suits the style and it wins you games, then aye, fair enough. But as a singular number 9, he certainly can't do what Chermiti could do. But Buffalo was an exception to the rule. I mean, he could occupy a full floor himself when he was in the mood. But other times he could be a man down as well. But we've got 3 strikers there, Ox, and I don't think any of them are really comfortable playing up themselves. But we need bodies round about them, whether it's attacking midfielders or number 10 or your wingers or whatever, you know. So the goals have got to come from somewhere.
The big man in the last, the St Mirren game, the Celtic game in the first half, he's done all right. If that had been his start, he sees me come in the door and that was his standard right through, they'd been back the night, Robert.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't at all. And he's certainly improved the past few games. I think we touched on it the other night, mate, after the game. His hold-up plays certainly improved. I think I agree with AK to an extent. I don't think we've got somebody that can play up on their own regularly. But I think out of the three of them, Chimity's the strongest because he's got that physical presence. With the height, he's got a bit of pace about him when he opens his legs up and he gets away from defenders. So he probably is the only one that could play himself more than the others. I think he could use a partner as well, though, and it'd be interesting to see going forward how we actually do it.
Right, boys, get yourself a mute, because we're going to have one of Foxy's favourites.
The cry was no surrender, or you'll die with heart and hand and sword and shield will guard old Derry's wall. When James and all his rebel band came up to Bishopsgate with heart and hand and sword and shield, will force them to retreat. The cry was no surrender. You'll die with heart and hand and sword and shield will guard old Derry's wall. When James and all his rebel band came up to Bishopsgate with heart and hand and sword and shield, will force them to retreat.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, I hope you like that. I think that was Mary Walsh, AK. Mary Walsh.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant, Fox. Well done.
Yeah. Aye. So we'll see what happens for these boys. If you know, you're going to get a lot of speculation, AK. Yeah.
Of course she is. It's silly season, isn't it? But see the fact that the so-called richest league in the world isn't making a hell of a lot of signings, that tells you where the economics is for the rest of the clubs across Europe as well. But the fact that Kavanagh had his meeting and that the manager's positive about certain talks, but they can't disclose anything, then it tells you that we've put ourselves in a position here to challenge for this league, and if we do win the league, we're the only team that's straight into the Champions League with a £40 million pot. If Hearts or Celtic or Motherwell that win it, they need to qualify to win it. So he's maybe went, well, this might be worth going for,
Boy, Super 6 money on the one bet, yeah?
I hope, though. He wants a return for his money.
Robert?
No comment on the Southside Super 6. I've told you, me and AK's got a better prediction success so far than Southside, but do you know what?
I'm going to tell you two, and I'm only going to tell you once, right? Self-praise is no praise at all. Right, carry on.
I'm just going to say Southside's getting a winner this weekend, so the listeners, I hope they're listening to get the 6 chosen teams a little bit later on.
Yeah, got them, mate. Got them. You're some man. You can always scratch it. There's no one every week you don't scratch your head. But there you go. You've got to stick with it, eh? You've got to stick with it.
Aye, you've probably got Livingston in there this week. Worst team in the league.
I'll be going for value for cash. Value for cash.
Aye, likes the big moves.
Aye. He'll no die quietly on the south side, but maybe one day. Well, he's done one, hasn't he? I just happened to be in Santorini at the time. Can I get a signal?
Time you went on holiday.
Can I believe it? I genuinely have backed him every week, mate. I've actually won by a few cash outs, but I've done the ones that started, mate. And what is that? Nearly 4 seasons now. I was in Santorini. We couldn't break it up. Anyway, we'll come to that in a minute. Right, so we've got our team roughly. Just quickly, mate. Just two gentlemen, see what the weather warning is about. You think just football should be cancelled? Quickly, just get it out of the way, bang, not. And that is a schedule that they put themselves under so much pressure with their stupid scheduling that they can't do that, because I just think if it's no safe, as a heist in the roads, it just doesn't make sense to have a public event on it. Doesn't have to be on. Robert?
I think it should be looked at, mate. We had the winter break not long ago, and I know a lot of people favoured it, a lot of ones didn't. I think when you've got the weather we get, particularly up north as well, and anywhere in Scotland really, they seem to forget about fan safety. I think the scheduling is poor. They've probably left themselves short with spaces of where you could add it in. But if a game's postponed, you've got to add it in somewhere. So what's the issue with calling it off for safety reasons? Safety supporters should be paramount before getting a game on to finance your Sky TV money.
All the games, mate. All the games. You people know travelling, no? But yeah. I don't know, you got thoughts on it, AK?
Ox, I'm watching I've got a game on the new Ross County are playing Partick Thistle and the stadium's empty. So them that's made the distance for Glasgow Partick to go up there, there's no many of them, because obviously it's not just about getting up there and watching the game, it's getting back. Exactly. So a wee bit of common sense needs to get applied, but when has ever that became an issue with the nuts? So, but Sky dictates, doesn't it, more than the safety of the support, I'm afraid.
Aye. My take on it, mate, when you put out weather warnings, etc., I think the fixture should just be called that. You know, just because people stop travelling, you know. It doesn't happen as often as you think, yeah.
See, I thought of that. See, on Tuesday, would you have been in favour of a call-off there as well, or you just think that because of the injuries that we've got?
No, nothing to do with injuries. And if the weather warning was there for people not to travel for Aberdeen and all over the country to go to Ibrox, I know we won the game. The same principle I went for. The game should have been. Aye. I think you've just got to be simple. It's a game and a sporting event, you know?
Yep, I agree.
No, but the schedule has boxed everybody into a corner that they can't handle in like that, and it's mental. No, but I think common sense should be used more, Robert. Just my take on it. Everybody, some people might think, doesn't matter what the weather is, you should play the game, yeah. Perhaps something happened to one of your own, you might look at it differently.
Aye, and that's all it takes sometimes, Ox, is something like that to happen before people go, aye, that should have been called off in hindsight. But again, when has the SFA done anything that's common sense or logical? So, as AK says, that's never going to change really. But you've got fans from all over the world travelling, and as you say, it's not just getting to the game; it's getting back, because you can be at a game, conditions worsen, and then you're stranded, and that's all it takes is umpteen supporters buses stuck in a motorway overnight. It's carnage, and you wouldn't wish it for any support. So logical thinking, SFA, not in the same sentence, unfortunately, mate.
Aye, aye. I mean, other people might say it differently, yeah.
Aye, of course, everybody's entitled to their viewpoint. Probably the armchair fans want it on before it's the guys that actually have to travel there. But aye, it's a country that we live in, and we've always had heavy winters or this time of the year. So to schedule so many games December, January, and no enough probably kind of later in the season, or it's trying to fit in all these games because your European competitions has expanded that much. There used to be like 10 games or something to win a European comp. Now you're talking about 30 games, and then you've got all the international games. So I think the whole calendar needs to be rethink, or else maybe start thinking of dropping some competitions, League Cups or whatever, which wouldn't go doing well with supporters either.
No. But you can get it right at the start of the season, mate.
Yep.
I get the fact that you get the winter break, and I get the logic that you might, let's say we could have had the winter break now and be starting up this weekend, and you catch your bad weather, you could have left it. You don't know when it could come in any time from December to March, if you're honest. So you've got to be flexible in your thinking. No, and when people travel, I just think that the safety should be important. Just as I say, my concerns, And by the way, I would still travel, but but I just think common sense should apply. Maybe I've got lack of that care.
Aye. Yeah, no, you're right. You're offering your opinion right enough, but let's hope if the game does go ahead, then we come back with the 3 points and everybody comes back safely.
Aye, of course. Right, okay, so this has become a massive game because of the way the fixtures are falling. If we get this out of the way, the pressure bubble bursts a wee bit for a week because we've got the cup tie. Maybe last year maybe taught us that we can't maybe look at anybody lately, but however, you'd like to think we take care of Aaron, so it gives us a wee bit of breathing space. Maybe hopefully do John Sterling back, new players, training with their team, might even get a taste against Aaron, etc. So this is a big game. This is a massive game on Sunday, Robert.
Aye, it seems to be the thing every week now, mate, and that's because they are. I mean, it's no lie that every game is vitally important at the minute, just to keep momentum going for us. But again, we're in a position that we're sitting second. Maybe by the time we kick off, we move a position. Hopefully not. But as you say, there's different pressure on teams around us. Excuse me. And it's just about that momentum game that we try and keep going. As I said earlier on the show, mate, 5 wins in a row it would be. We've not done that since February 25 under Clement. There's a lot at stake here, and it seems to be, again, as I said, the trend every game at the minute. But for what we've seen so far, you're confident getting into these games. Maybe a couple of weeks ago, particularly after the Hearts game, you thought this could be a real tricky tie. I don't expect Aberdeen to play the same way as they did on Tuesday night and Sunday, but I expect us to move it a third gear if we need to on Sunday, because I don't want to commit a third gear on Tuesday. Don't need to, right enough.
Well, it'll be a different game, mate. It always is. Even I don't think they're a great side, but they'll be going mental on Sunday if the game takes place, as we well know. Okay, but we get this. We don't really play for a couple of weeks in the league, and we played in Ibrox. You'd like to think we'd see them off, if we're honest. AK, yeah, and the same too. The teams in first and third. I'll be worried. Obviously, the team in third will be worried. They'll be really panicking in case Murray won't go by them, mate.
Listen, it's a possibility, the way their form is, but it's just the way the the league is starting to form now, but all the runners and riders are in place and everybody's just about neck and neck. We've clawed back Hearts, we've overtook Celtic, Motherwell's up there, and even Hibs 10 points a hint. They've proved that they could beat Hearts, and they've proved that they could give ourselves, Celtic, Motherwell difficult games, and they've actually got Motherwell at the weekend there, Hibs. So that could, there's a lot of twists and turns in the way to go. Aberdeen their form is fell off a cliff. They've lost they've no won in their last 6 games, but it's been 4 games. The last time I think it was Scotty Arfield. He came on as a late sub and overturned the game. That was the last time we won at Pittodrie. So a test of character for our team. We know they're going to be up for it. Do we know the officials yet for Sunday, Ox? Because you need a strong official.
I'll see if I can dig it out, mate. But
Dickinson.
David Dickinson.
He's not the real deal, is he?
No, he's not. He's a ref and John Beaton's on VAR, AK.
Yeah, they're all equally as bad, mate. Yeah. You know, a petty thing, and it was only a booking, but the guy who pushed Diamondi off with 2 horns, by the way, it was his 4th foul. His 4th foul in the first half of a football match. They never get booked. Yeah. It might not have made any difference, but it affects how that guy's got to play if he's a combative player, you know, Robert.
Well, he went on in the second half, Fox, to have another 2 or 3 fouls, and then ended up getting taken off before he was didn't even get booked, but he was taken off before he got booked, if that makes sense, because he was constant niggling, and I think I had a few Rangers players to say to them that that's consistent fouling, they're racking up here, and then even his own teammate said, that's my first tackle, and he get booked, and he's looking at his centre-half partner going, how are you not been booked yet? Because they blatant pushing the back's a yellow card all day long.
That was a
foul was in there as well.
That was a card on its own, mate. You're right.
It just shows you the inconsistencies of referees, mate, again. But listen, we don't want to be talking about the referees come Sunday. We want to be talking about a dominant victory for us. Performance, different thing, but result, and then first and foremost, we done it on Tuesday night, mate. We spoke about, we played comfortably, we won the game, but you can still highlight points of refereeing errors. It's going to be the case. It always is.
Well. Aye. Don't get Bridgeman and Albert started that AK.
Aye, I know. Aye, they're like a dog with a bone, the 2 of them, aren't they? But listen, we've seen it for years, and we know we just come to expect these referees, these officials to make incompetent decisions. VAR's there meant to be to help the situation. All it does is it gives them an excuse to chop goals off, to look for things that aren't there, and that's not what it's meant to be, introduced for. So, but the officialdom, it's the standard is woeful. Well, a lot of them. Not to say we've other great referees earlier the year in Scotland, but the fact that UEFA are ignoring them for major championships and all that now tells you, alone that our officials are terrible, and they don't have a good rep across Europe for any big games.
And as you pointed out, the guy who booted the ball in the crowd or not, that's a yellow card or not, isn't it?
100%. Amazed at that one.
We had Andy Halliday at Morton, and we had, in Europe, I know it's the rules. When Max Harris come on without permission, it's an automatic yellow card. The rules are the rules, mate. Yeah. But they don't seem to apply them, no. I don't know. The best way to sort it out is keep it out the net and put it in the net, innit?
That's it. I don't let them have an influence, but even at that, Nick will still play on Hibs, and then they got the part and score.
I forgot about
They couldn't script it.
You're right. You're right. Anyway, come and join us. 0141 356 1972. Give your thoughts. Are we really, really, really in this race now? I think so. Robert?
Oh, 100%, mate. We're not sitting second, 3 points off the top of the table for nothing. Again, the performances have been a bit part, but we've got victories enough to get us into a position that we've merited to be in this position because, well, we've earned it in a way. Danny Rose earned it. So 100% we're right in the race again. And if again I go back to it, October, you never thought about it. You didn't imagine it. After the defeat against Hearts, you maybe thought the chance was gone, but the reaction from then till now, it's a testament to the players' mentality that AK touched earlier on. Can they keep going it? Can they understand this pressure now of you've overtook your rivals, you're 3 points behind the leaders. Can you now push on and go further? But the reaction from Hearts to now alone has been exceptional for some individuals, but collectively as a team, I think we touched on it the other night. They're looking more as a team. There's more chemistry. There's more understanding. A bit more fluid at times when we play the football that in patches looks really well. With the additions that are coming in, certainly a great place to be at the moment in time, mate. But we're certainly right in this race.
AK.
100%. The league table doesn't lie. And as I say, the top 5 teams are covered with 10 points. It's been a while since we've seen one of the league championship races, Ox. I had a wee look at the fixtures there earlier, just the interest to see who the teams have got. If you don't mind, I'll give you Hearts, Rangers and Celtic's fixtures. Hearts are away to Dundee on Sunday. I think they play before us. Then they've got St Mirren at home, Falkirk in the Cup, and then they've got Celtic home, St Mirren away, Hibs home, and then Rangers away. Rangers are obviously Aberdeen, then the Cup with Annan, Ludogorets, Dundee home, Porto away, Hibs away, and Celtic, Dundee United at home, Falkirk away, and then they're away to Auchinleck, Bologna away, and then Hearts away. They're tough runs of fixtures for all 3 teams there. And if you're coming through the fixtures with pretty much maximum points or as near as maximum points as what you've got, then it sets you up for the final push before it comes to that top 6. And who knows? We've been a critic of that top 6. That could be some top 6 this year. So all the teams are playing against each other and taking points off each other, you know.
Well, if we can win on Sunday, mate, obviously the games are they run out pretty rapid at this time of the season. You know, you get quite quick with the end of February. You're on the countdown. In Aberdeen, we might not need to go back to Pataudry. You know, the break whatsuit, Robert. Yeah, I don't like it, but there you go.
There's some benefits in it, I suppose, mate. I think you touched on it before. If they finish top 6, it's 2 games, and if you get them in the cup, it's what 5 times you play them in a season. So there's benefits to the split.
If we go on them in the cup, it'll be 5 times to Tuesday night to the end of the season, mate, which is mental without replays.
That's honestly, it's bonkers, mate. It's a whole league set up, but as you say, and AK touches on, the top 6 could be a very competitive top 6 that we've already seen that teams everywhere can beat MD. So it's a long way to go, but there'll be many twists and turns. But as long as we keep the focus on ourselves, keep winning games, then we'll be right in contention until the last kick of the ball on the last day of the season.
Aye. Not going to be good for the nerves. Making different tablets, everybody, AK.
Well, Bridgeman started it with his 1-0s, and Danny Rose been taking his advice. But aye, listen, it's interesting. There's a bit of competition there in Scottish football that hasn't been there for a while. Clubs have, and that's credit to like say Motherwell, Hibs, and Hearts. And that they've got their recruitment right. Rangers and Celtic haven't this year, and it's drew the gap back that we're on a kind of a levelish footing. So it's up to the experience now. It's up to who wants it. It's up to a bit of luck. It could be up to an official's decision. Let's hope no. But all of a sudden, you might have dodgy decisions going against us, going against Hearts for the officials' favourite team to win games where they shouldn't win them. But let's not give them the opportunity to do that and just keep putting the wins on the board if we can. But aye, it's amazing. Aberdeen Cup holders, St Mirren League Cup holders, Hearts top of the league. I say that, oh, it seems as if you're going back to the 80s, Ox, with a league table like that, and teams winning things.
No, yeah, well, mate, we get a chance here that, as we said earlier at the start of the show, October. We never thought we were, and this is the time to grasp it. And I think they're backing the manager. Now, I don't know if it's going to work, and I don't know how good the players are going to be, and I don't know if it's how it's going to go. But I think they're backing them with the personnel. And these two are done deals that we're picking up. And then if we're linked with two players, and obviously that's just pure speculation, we don't know how true it is. But the things are going on, and nobody's without the club yet. I think there will be if they can, But they're going all in as much as you can, AK.
Aye, as much as you can. There's rumours also about Kieran Bowie's meant to be on the radar as well. I don't know if you would take him. Certainly his agent and everything goes the right way, but would you pay whatever they're looking for him? Penrice is meant to be on the radar as well. I think he'd be a good acquisition, but to balance the books, I think you need to get people out there. Gassama is meant to be an interest. I think Villarreal were showing interest and Bruce showing interest. Rothwell, we know Sheffield United. Maybe somebody will come for Kieran Dow, Birmingham or whatever. He did well, went down there. And let's not forget we've still got McCausland, Cortez, Davies, Cifuentes all out on loan as well. So we need to try and get the guys after the book as well as the guys that's kicking their heels round about the club.
I'm not worried about Davis and Dow and that, mate. Their contracts are up in a few weeks, mate. Obviously, it'd be great if you could get them off the books and save money, contracts and that. But they're no issue, Robert.
No, they're not. It's the ones that are on longer term contracts that are not contributing enough for the money they're being paid. That's the issue. But if they're not contributing to us, the hard part is trying to find them a club, because who's going to look at them and say, there's a guy there who's not played a lot of games, we'll take him. I mean, Kevin Felwell done it with us, with Jamaica, but there's nobody that silly out there, is there? I think Hibs are looking for 6.5 million AK for Kieran Bowie, so I wouldn't think I'd pay that for him, if I'm being honest, mate.
Yeah, when we watched him the last game we played them, mate, he's enthusiastic, he's strong, I've not really seen enough of him, not against us, to see if what kind of finisher he is. He's physical, yeah, but I don't know. But I'm not against signing people for Scotland. I've got a different view for Bridge. I think we've missed the boat a few times, AK.
Oh, 100%. The obvious one's Shankland. We were getting him in a 3-year. I think he would have been desperate to come to Ibrox, but it just never materialised for him. And fair enough to him, he got his wage increase, his contract and all that, and he settled at Hearts and he's scoring goals for him. But he's been a thorn in the side that we didn't go there. And there's been others in the past as well, as we know, by Lewis Ferguson and that. We seem to overlook these boys, and maybe that's the reason why we're getting the St Mirren duo coming in, possibility in the future as well, Ox, that we're no overlooking these players anymore, and we're doing our due diligence on them as we should be doing.
Yeah, why not? You mean you might decide not to sign them, that's a different reason, but why not look? Yeah, Robert?
And there's certainly players out there that you can look at and think, have they got the ability to take a step up and play for our club? Can they compete at the top league table? Can they compete in Europe? Are they going to have the aspirations? Are they going to not crumble under the pressure of the jersey? There is players, as AK say, we've missed out on. There's other players out there that you could name a few that would maybe do a job, but it's whether they can go to the next level. I mean, we've tried Scottish players before. Do you know what I mean? We've had the likes of Glenn Kamara have came to us. I know he's not Scottish, but players from Scottish League. Glenn Kamara, Ryan Jack, Scott Wright. It's some are up, some are down. So again, it's just you're never guaranteed a transfer how it's going to go, but there certainly is players on your doorstep that we've been guilty in the past of not looking at, and maybe we should start doing it. And it will be interesting to see if Gillespie comes in for St Mirren, if that's a channel we go down, that maybe you get somebody from that league in every window or every second window or something.
Yeah, they 3 players all started in Seville.
Aye. Scott Wright. What a legend, eh?
Don't.
Listen, Scott Wright set up Glenn Kamara against Leipzig and it could have been a totally different game. You never know. Key figure.
Aye, that moment in my history, aye. I thanked him for it, mate. I thanked him for it.
Right. And a goal in the Scottish Cup final against Hearts as well, eh?
What a goal.
Oh, great goal.
Aye. But if only he stuck it, he's fit to bolt that cross.
Aye.
Or Connor Golson put it out.
That'll be me no sleeping again. It shouldn't have got as far as Golson.
Ah, well.
That'll be me no sleeping the night again.
You
Sorry,
can
mate.
dream me a league title this year, Ox. You're allowed to dream of that.
I'm all right with the positive thoughts. It's the negative ones that keep me up, achy.
Oh, well.
Whatever. I'm just looking for this. Right, you know what time it is?
It's the Super 6 time.
As it looks that way, yes. Yes. Here we
Welcome
go.
to Southside Super 6. And get ready for your weekend's fix. He finds it hard to get them right, 'cause most of the time they are shy.
Oh dear. Sorry. It's time for this.
Great lyrics.
Appropriate lyrics. It's time for the Southside Super 6 for Saturday, the 10th of January. And the selections this week are Bradford, Fulham, Brentford, Ayr United, Stenhousemuir, and Wraith Rovers all to win. And if you put a £10 on that, how much will you get back, gentlemen?
Zero.
Usually nothing.
Pride.
I'll be on, mate.
Well, you have just heard this week's picks are run out and bet like dicks. The sane amongst you will give it a miss, 'cause for years he has just been taking the piss.
Fox loves his AI.
He's got a new game for Christmas.
Oh dear.
Brilliant.
What was the 6? The 6 was Wraith Rovers. Here we go. Must have moved it. He's too busy laughing. No, it's Southside Super 6. I mean, I had the Fox and these jingles. Bradford, Fulham, Brentford, Ayr, Stenhousemuir, and Wraith Rovers, mate. Yeah? Okay, yeah?
Right, no bother. I'll need to fill it back. You're too quick, but I'll get it later.
I'll send out. It's in the chat, mate. Yeah?
Cool. No bother. Thanks.
Okay. Hopefully Denver will be raising a second, mate. We've got to hear from hopefully Denver. Don't murder Denver, yeah. Aye, as we said, big game. We've got the team pretty much sussed. What that shows when we started naming the personnel, we are short. We're definitely short. Yeah, we might have enough players, but we're short. When you're scratching your head to who put in certain positions. They did leave us in a wee bit of a mess there, well, on that, if we're really honest. Yeah, it's worked out all right, but we're still short. AK.
A bit of a mess is an understatement, Ox. But you're right. 8 games into the season, only 1 victory, and we were staring at a bleak future for the rest of the season. But listen, Danny Rowe has breathed life into a team, into campaign that we didn't really foresee. And credit to him, credit to the players for working hard on the training ground, and for some of the players to turn around a wee bit of their form and start to give us a wee bit of belief. All of a sudden you've got supporters scrambling for tickets now instead of putting them up for seat sub and playing in front of an empty Ibrox, you know. So it's amazing what a run of wins can do for us and give us a wee bit of belief. We're desperate to get behind something, and I think a lot of the frustrations was coming out in the Rangers support. So I can understand that, but we've got to work as one now. You know, it's unity and stability is the only way to success for me.
Aye, listen, we're just talking about the league fixtures. Win this one and get behind the team big style for the home game against Dundee. Robert, it's as simple as that for me.
That's it, mate. That is it. The main focus now for us is certainly the league, and that should always be the case. It's bread and butter. European football this season, we know it's not went well. These games that are coming up is a chance just to get some minutes and legs. I think Annan should take care of itself, but we'd seen last season there's no gimme in any cup competitions, but certainly you get into it with a confidence in what you could have done a few months ago. League games, it's in your hands again, Ox, almost that we're getting momentum by winning games. We're winning ugly at times, but you're finding ways to win, which is important and impressive in its own accord. So, league form, just keep it going. Sunday's massive. I don't know if I kind of like the idea that the next game's not until like 2 weeks away. I think I'd rather just keep going and going and going, but that's the fixtures, that's what they are. You've got European football, a cup competition. But I just feel that we're on this kind of tidal wave that you just want to have the league fixtures just rolling over. Pardon the pun. Didn't mean that there.
I see what you've done there, mate. I see what you've done.
Aye, without actual trying as well.
Yeah, it wasn't funny, but yeah, I see what you've done. AK?
You're a cruel man.
Only sometimes. Funny enough, I ain't really used to that. I ain't really.
Aye. But no, listen, we're just trying to keep our feet on the ground a wee bit. Try to be balanced in our opinion. Don't get too high and don't get too low, as our manager appears to be, and I think that's rubbing off on a lot of the players, on a lot of support, and just keep things calm and ticking over. And just, you know, we've crept up that league table unnoticed, but they see us now. They know exactly we're there. We're breathing down the neck of Hearts, and they fell asleep at the wheel. So let's keep going. Ox, what would you do with the likes of the cup game and the European game? And if we've got the opportunity to make changes, would you take advantage of it?
Obviously, the European game, you would have to look at who's registered, mate. You still have to put a team out in the pitch, yeah. Yeah, I think the Scottish Cup game, you know, we've got some players coming in, so you might start two of them and maybe get another two in the second half, etc. But I think that the learning curve for last season is, mate, you put a decent side out and we did have enough to beat Queen's Park, but we never did it with the right attitude. Go out with the right attitude, score goals, put the get me bed, and then, you know, you've got 5 subs you can make, you know, and 9 on the bench, mate. There's no reason why you can't have 3 or 4 young boys taking part and coming on the pitch and playing a decent amount of time, like half an hour plus, mate, to protect your other players. Obviously, the European ties a wee bit different, mate. There's finances involved and you would like to do all right in it. But if somebody's carrying anything at all, mate, a boot and no playing because of where we are in the competition. Robert?
Aye, I think that would be the sensible thing to do, mate. I'm with yourself in the Scottish Cup game. You go out and you get the game won and then you make changes. I wouldn't start with wholesale changes in that fixture. European one, you go with your registered players. But again, like you're saying, if there's a player with a slight knock, doesn't play because there's a bigger reward and a bigger competition to play for, so to speak, in the league format to go and be successful there. Europe's just, it's a pastime these next two games. I know you want to go and win, you want to go and compete, especially against like teams like Porto, you want to go and compete with them, but the bigger picture is we're in a title race. We're not in a European race. So for me, balance it, but be smart with the selections.
All right, Denver, if you're listening, the link was sent you, might have went to your spam. Check your spam, mate, and just click on it. Yeah, come and join us, mate. Good to hear from you. Aye, what about you, AK? What's your take on it?
Aye, it's just one game at a time, as I say, and it's just ticking off the wins. This is going to be a difficult game on Sunday. Be under no illusion. Aye, of course it is, because their crowd make it intimidating to influence the decision. All of a sudden, they find 5 yards for somewhere and shutting people down and getting in your face and just making it as uncomfortable as possible. But that's where our players have got to learn, to face adversity and to stand up to it and to show the character and what it means to wear our jersey. There's a lot of young players in the team, and there's a lot of the players that hadn't experienced going to these away grounds. So we've got to keep the heat. Discipline is a big thing as well, and we've obviously got to fill the holes that's getting left with Stirling and Barron, who are going to be massive misses. But it's up to the rest of the team to stand up and fill the holes and come back to the 3 points. And that's what winning a league title's all about. It's not about your next 5-6 games. It's your next 10-15 games. And just carry on the momentum. At the start of the season, the first 8 games horrendous. Your next, what have been now, 14 games or something, or 13 games, we're all really, really good. What is it, 32 points out of 39? That's championship winning form for me, Ox, if we keep it going.
Aye. And there's a couple of frustrating games in that as well, The United played well and should have won the game, but got a penalty in the last minute to get us a point, which is unusual. And then the Falkirk game at Ibrox, I thought we were poor.
By the way, talking about that, Ox, sorry, see the wee guy that was on the wing, I can't mind his name. I thought he had a great game that night. And their striker, the Australian boy, I think it's maybe worth to keep an eye on as well up top.
All right. Just want to touch on the statement for the club today about the pyrotechnics and not go into it too much. Just ask again for common sense. But I get it. Young people will do things, and if we were all maybe involved, we might do it. But you're going to end up harming the thing that we all clearly love, because they're desperate. They'll cut the tickets. They'll keep cutting the tickets, and the next thing they'll go, if they can't do that, that'll be points they'll come after. And let's just be sensible, yeah. I'm not want to criticise anybody for doing it, AK, but let's just be sensible, yeah.
Wise words, Ox, wise words. Listen, the UB bring a lot to the table that is good with their tifos and getting behind the team, singing the entire game, But when it comes to you're hurting the club and hurting the support, that's when they've got to think a wee bit more clever than what they're doing, because they're all desperate to go and cheer the team on as much as anybody, So I agree with your sentiments.
Robert?
I agree, mate. We don't want to criticise them for doing it and stuff, but when you've had the warnings come out about it, that if you're caught doing it again, there's going to be punishment, and this is only the start of it if we do keep it going. So supporting the numbers and be loud and proud as you always are, but as you say, just do it in the right manner before it really starts to affect us.
Aye, it'll affect everybody, and then you'll have supporters turning against supporter, mate. We don't want that, yeah? We don't want that.
Aye, don't want that environment. No. Let them across the city do that.
No. Oh, they'll all be happy for a week, but who cares?
Well, the thing is, Ox, you cast your mind back to Motherwell at Ibrox only in December there. their fans said the flares out before the game, so I wonder if this will be a consistency thing throughout the league now as well, or if it's so many warnings you'll get another one.
I never noticed the flares. It was yours I noticed. Anyway, we've been joined by Bob here.
Good evening.
How are we doing,
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing this evening?
Good
Evening,
mate. How
Bob.
are you? What's on your mind?
I'm just sort of staring who's cold on a woman's heart, and that's cold, believe me. Reason. Anyway, what's the subject title, lads? I was so sad today to hear about Connor Barnes' injury. That's terrible. The other night they were singing his praises to the high heavens about the form the laddies in, and then that goes and happens. I believe it's a knee injury, am I right, Hawks?
Ligaments, mate, yep.
God, see, that's a long time. That's such an awkward injury, that.
2 months.
Hopefully he can recover quickly.
2 months.
And Dijon Sterling says, but he'll be out for long, apparently. I don't know. That's the luck Rangers have got.
AK.
Hi, good evening, Bob, and welcome to the show as usual.
Nice to be here again.
Aye, pal. Aye, definitely. Listen, barring as a blow to the team that the boy's been a rich vein of form now. We're discussing that earlier in the show, so he's a big miss to the team. Just his presence, I think a lot of the players run about him. The wee kick up the backside, because you see the boy running about the park and shutting people down and spreading the play and all that. So I think a lot of it's rubbed off and players run about him. So he's going to be a big miss. But it's an opportunity for somebody else to step up and show us what they can do.
Well, he was a perfect foil. He was a perfect foil for Nico and Diamande, and it seemed to be working. But hey ho, I mean, the club's on an upward trajectory, a good upward trajectory, I may add. And if we get a couple of signings in, I mean, the boy for Sturm Graz is not a bad player, apparently. I don't know if it's all been finalised yet, but it looks as though it's on the road to being finalised. So if we can get them in, bolster the midfield and just take it from there and just go with what we've got, that's more or less all we can do, yeah? What about this Ant-Man? Is there any news on him, on his fitness?
Could be in the squad for the weekend, Bob, Chair.
Oh, well, that's another plus, because he's a good player, that lad. He just get rid of him. So I looked at the training videos today there and saw him working hard. So I said, he's nearly ready to go. So good. That confirms that. Because I think we'll win on Sunday. It'll not be easy. It'll be hard. It always is up there. We know that. The 4 times a year gang. They're kings of the 4 times a year gang, that lot. But I don't think they've quite got it to be that anymore. I think we'll go up there and we'll win 2-0 on Sunday again.
Oh, I'll take that all day long. Robert?
Hi, evening, Bob. Listen, it's good to get players back from injury. Obviously, Antman, his form wasn't great before he got injured. But again, when we're talking about the team earlier on, we realise how short we are when these injuries mount up. And it seems to be, whenever we're on a good bit of form, there's always an injury or there's a break or something. It just seems to happen. It seems to be the Rangers' way that it happens. I think that's what Danny Rose said. It's a never-ending story because you've heard team managers mention it. But as you say, mate, there's an opportunity for somebody to come in. The new guy seems to be a matter of when, not if, from what we're hearing. So may be in the squad on Sunday if he's registered in time, if it's all done and dusted. But I think it is a blow. You maybe see the difference, but I said earlier on, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but if somebody can come in and perform well in the midfield, you don't notice that Barron's missing in that sense, if you get what I mean. That they just play effective and we play well when we do enough to win games. And I'll go with yourself, mate. I think we'll go and win the game on Sunday, and I think we might go 2-0 as well. I was going to change it, but I'll stay 2-0.
Aye, because I looked at them the other night, they're a poor side.
Aye, I would take any victory just to put it in the way, that game, AK. Any victory. It's one of the games for me, yeah.
I'm with you there, Ox. If it's 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 2-1, any victory at all, get the 3 points, come back down the road, hopefully on the one piece. That's if it goes ahead, but aye, let's hope so.
Was there doubts about the game, boys?
Well, there's a more
weather-wise
coming in for an amber warning coming in for snow and ice for the northeast of the country, mate. So, watch your space, mate. Yeah.
Aye. We'll see. We shall see. Anyway, as I say, the club's on an upward trajectory, and that's we want to keep it there. We're doing well at the moment. Better than we've done for a while. Let's keep it going.
And also, when people see what the personnel's coming in, I never thought, I made my view on here, I never thought that people would come in on the 1st of January. I just think modern football with agents and people deals, it always takes longer than you think. And then they've come in, and arguably they come in at the right time. You know, it's not too late. That's 2, maybe an hour 2 potentially. According to the media, we'll see. I mean, I think they're no. Your media speculation, Robert, but 2 in. Take it for there, mate.
Yeah, listen, we spoke about it the other night, mate. I'll be honest, I didn't expect him then before this game on Sunday. I expected there to be kind of movement in between the next league game, between now and Sunday and Dundee on the 25th. That's what I was kind of expecting. But listen, if we get 2 boys in the door, we've got a cup game where we can integrate them into the squad, get them in front of Ibrox, get them playing. We certainly aren't finished by my business, and it sounds like because of the injury to Barron, the plans might change. So if we were thinking of going for 3 or 4, you maybe see another one come in just because of that injury. So certainly, listen, Danny Rose mentioned it himself. They've been doing work in the background. They've been speaking to personnel, and it's all about timing. You sign these 2 boys when you lose 2 to injury. That's a perfect timing. So Danny Rose we trust, and Andrew Kavanagh is putting money towards it again. As Bob says, we're in a good place. We're on the up. Players come into it. Helps the squad. They embrace the environment, and hopefully they just kick on, prove their worth, and help us and help the squad essentially get more points on the board. Okay.
Right age, right profile. These boys, we'll see. We'll see how good they are. The 2's coming in, and it's going to be interesting in the next few weeks. Ins and outs, AK.
Absolutely, mate. Had a wee look at their thing there earlier. The Rob sent us. They're both 22. They're both over 6 feet. You know, so the profiles match what we're kind of looking for. So just let's see what's happening, and hopefully they do acquit themselves well. I'm looking forward to seeing the 2 of them, both of them. Well, the left back, Tuur Romans. He's played at all levels, I think, in the Belgium, under 16s, under 18s, 21s and stuff. So he's well thought of. And the other boys, I say, he's had a good start to his career, and he's not kicked a ball because he's the studs down the back of Cal McGregor's leg. So that's a good start for me. Let's see what they bring to the table.
A lot of similarities with the age and height with the panel, and my age and your height, yeah.
If we all stood next to each other, we'd be like Russian dolls.
And funny enough, I'm usually at the bottom of that, but I wouldn't be the right.
Rob beats you.
Just by an inch.
I don't know what we're talking about, but I think it's better that bit.
Do you know what's a good thing as well?
GB's Sorry, I was going to say GB's last night. 5'9" to 6 foot, not much.
Oh, that was a brilliant one. Hey, one of these always looking for bits of paper.
Like me, my dog hunting days are over.
That comment last week from GB was nearly as bad as Felwell's 25-8 shout.
GB, that was a belt. I forgot about that, AK. You're just cheered me up, yeah.
Well done, GB. Brilliant.
He must have won any magic tape measures, huh?
Extension.
Oh, so you know something as well with these two players that are obviously coming in as a matter of when, again, no if. They've been playing football. They're not guys that are coming down from the cold. They've been playing regularly with their sides, so they should be up to speed, ready to go, rather than waiting a couple of weeks for them. So I think that's quite important that we're getting players who are coming in that have played regular football so far this season for their respective clubs.
Are you saying that, you'd be really desperate to sign somebody that's not played for a year, hardly played for a year, then put them on in a big game against their city rivals? Is that what you're saying? Is that the point you're making?
No, I just think if you're bringing a player in that's played football, you've got a better feeling than putting them on and bringing them in from the cold.
The answer was yes.
But yes, to answer your question.
Thank you. You get what I'm saying, AK, didn't you?
Aye, definitely. You say Govan ready.
Bob Gerrard, we talked briefly earlier on about Danny Rowe and where we were when he came in. Did you see this coming? None of us did.
Absolutely no. I see that. I reckon it'd be an improvement, but no an improvement at this level, which is great. As I said, the club's on an upward trajectory. I didn't care about them and their results across the road. That's their problem. It's the fact is that we've kept winning. If we were, I mean, if we never started the season, we could have very well had this League One or very near one by now. That's what I think. But we'll do, so we've just got to keep going. We're going to be a hard nut to crack for anybody. That was proved last Saturday. I think Roll said to them last Saturday, look, come on, get your finger out, you know what, get your sleeves rolled up, let's get into this. You're only one hand, and it proved it worked. Whatever theory had, it worked. And we tweaking the team and away we went. Because at the start of the season, if you'd have went out there, you'd never have won. You'd have had no chance. You all know that, much as it hurts. But then again, you seen what happened last week. And we'll beat one of your biggest rivals there on Tuesday night. And we've got them again due to circumstances on Sunday. And I think we can do it again. Again, I'm not going to bore you, but as I say, the club is on an upward swing. And long may the upward swing continue. And I think it will on Sunday.
Yeah. Listen, Bob, Ger, always good to hear from you, mate.
Always good to be here, mate.
Yes.
Always good to be here.
If our mate Denver comes in the next couple of minutes, we'll keep on and we'll talk to him. But Denver, keep trying, mate. I know technical stuff's not your stuff. Keep trying.
Okay, all the best, lads.
Cheers, Bob, Ger.
No worries. Anytime. Bye-bye now.
Cheers, Bill.
Top man, Bob, Ger. Unique voice, isn't he? Unique voice.
He certainly has.
Aye. Right, okay. If Denver appears, we'll bring him in, but we can't wait all night. Robert,
come on, Denver.
Cheers for me on, mate. Good show tonight. Good to be with yourself and AK. Looking forward to the game Sunday, as you said. Big, massive game. Hopefully go up there, get the 3 points, and if the weather is as bad as it is, hopefully everybody gets up and returns safely.
Aye, get the 3 points if the game's on. It looks as if, I've not seen anything to say. We'll only be on, but get the 3 points down the road. AK.
Absolutely. No, I enjoyed that, pal. That was good discussions, good content for everybody there, so hopefully everybody enjoyed it. But so eyes on to Pittodrie now on Sunday. Goes ahead. We're looking to come back with another victory and another 3 points on the road. We're ticking the games off now, Ox. That'll be 22nd game of the season. There's only 16 left to go, so we're on the inward turning for home, shall we say. So I enjoyed that tonight. Thanks to everybody, and come on the Rangers.
Yes, good mate Denver. Come on, mate. Come on, Denver. No. He'll get the hang of it. Listen, thanks to Bob Ger for joining us, Robert and AK for doing the show, Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals, the background, and a big shout out for our mate Southside for his Super 6, mate. He gets a lot of ribbon, but he keeps going, and maybe this will be the week. Maybe it won't. But thanks to everybody for listening. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock? What time's the kick up? Maybe on Sunday. I might get that right. It's later on, isn't it? The later
half 4.
Half 4.
Aye, half 4 kick-off.
Aye, half 3. We got pre-match shows. We build up to a victory at Pittodrie as the Bears batch on. Enjoy your weekend. Please, everybody, stay safe with the weather. Thanks for listening. Take it away, all school board.